Well, hello. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the crypto market for what I've seen the last couple of days, or sorry, the last 24 hours. So, as we can see, there's a sea of green. Now, this, I have seen a little bit of a pullback, and because we've had such a big leg up, it does not surprise, or would not surprise me if we were to see a retracement, a bit of profit taking, which would be highly normal, and really it's kind of necessary, really. It can't just keep on going up like this, and as much as it's all good fun and everything, it's unrealistic to think that this is going to keep on going. So I did find out, I did a little bit of research last night, and Binance Coin was a big one that stood out to me. And the reason why is because, I've wondered why Binance Coin is number 7. Like, it's just an exchange. Why number 7? I just don't get it. There's so many other exchanges that are out there, and they're doing great things too. Now, I found out that Binance Coin is being used now as a coin for trade in many, many places, and big companies are taking it on board to use it. Not only that, but Binance Coin are doing something, and this is a real possibility if they can pull this off, is that they want to create, so you've got Ethereum, and next to it you've got the blockchain where you can store all of your coins on the blockchain. Binance Coin are going to do that, but they're going to do one better. So you can actually have all the ICOs and different creations from developers happen on this new blockchain that's going to be incorporated next to Binance Coin. So all the developers on Ethereum now can't wait for this to happen, because they're going to jump from Ethereum and go over to Binance Coin, so they say. But also Binance Coin has, at the moment, it's got 141 million Binance Coins out there. And I think the number is 189 million that are actually in circulation. Well, they're not in circulation. You've got 141 in circulation, and 189 potentially could be out in circulation. But they have it's like a buyback and burn, but now they can't actually buy back. So whenever people use Binance to trade, they take those and burn those, because their goal is in about 5 years' time or whatever to have only 100 Binance Coins. So they're reducing the size of the amount of Binance Coin out there in circulation, and the availability of being able to buy Binance Coin. So, and also there's one other thing that is excellent about Binance Coin. They have had so many requests for people to offer a decentralized private cryptocurrency exchange and holding area. So they're creating one. And so that means that the same as Monero, you will be able to have your coins in Binance, and they will be completely private and secret. And no one else will know what's in there except for you, which is fantastic. So, or they'll obviously have the amount of coins that are in there, but they won't know who owns those coins, which is great. So, but of course, if you lose your keys, if you lose your code to get in there, you've lost your coins. So, there's risk with all these benefits. So now, we just bought Neo. So I just wanted to show you Neo. Looks fantastic. I love it. It looks great. That volume there is just, this is institutional buying big time. Last night we were looking at it, and we're looking at buying, but you can't, I've got to buy on, it has to be confirmation. If there's no confirmation there, I can't buy. Now, it is a risky buy, I believe, in buying this one, simply because it's fully overextended. Now, a wick means resistance, right? So when the wick goes up and finds resistance and then comes back down, and then, lands back down here. So that had around about a 40% sell-off. It wouldn't surprise me if Neo was to go up a little bit, muck around, and even find resistance somewhere near the, 1980 mark, and then come back down, even down to the, ADMA, say the 1550. That would not surprise me if it trades within that range there. Now, I didn't buy this for, like a 10-minute, quick trade, get in and get out. I'll show you why I bought it, and you can probably see. There is a little bit of a problem here as well. I wouldn't say a problem, but there's something here that I don't really like. And that is, we've got a big cup here, and the handle comes down way too far for my liking. This is showing weakness, actually. It's showing that instability, basically. Now, we've come up, so here, you could call that another cup with handle here, which is a higher handle. And then We've come up there and now we've broken all these 3 levels across here. So 1, 2, 3 levels, we just smashed through that with monster volume. That's part of the reason why I bought. Now, I could be jumping the gun here, but I just want to show you something on the weekly chart. If you have a look at the weekly chart, you can see that definitely something's happened here on the weekly chart. So we've had a very, very long base here, which is, it's just long and boring, But as you can see, okay, we had a bit of a sell-off there, but look at all the other volume here. These big institutions here that have been buying in and accumulating this coin while it's at its cheap prices. This is accumulation by the big boys, knowing that, if anyone else is selling, we're going to be buying what they're selling. And we'll just keep on doing that until the market turns. So, they could do this for years. But so this has gone up. As you can see, the wick is up there and then it's come back down. So we had a sell-off of around about 40% from last night's trading. So it isn't a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either. It's just not showing very good, the strength could be better. But this is the weekly chart. So, we might even get up to the $19.80 mark and close there by, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, being Monday morning. We don't know. So I bought this on the daily chart and I will be watching it very closely. If it misbehaves, I'll be selling. But at this stage, it's looking good for a buy and I'm in. All right, I'll just go back to the daily chart and I just want to show you a couple of things. Right, so actually I'll just, I think I'm already in USD, but we'll have a look. Righto. Righto, so here we are with Bitcoin, 10,948. So as you can see from, this is behaving quite well. I really, we've had one failed trade and, beyond that, we're looking pretty good. So that was our last entry there, 95.57. So about $1,400 since then. But this here, it has to have a pullback. It can't just keep going up like this. And then, it would not surprise me if we go up a little bit further, even, 11.5 mark where the next resistance point is or something like that. And then come back down to the, the 8 EMA or the 20 EMA or somewhere around there. For it to hit 11,500, come back to 9,000 or something like that, just a quick spike. This is profit takers taking profit, basically. And then this would be the big money coming in again at the bottom or somewhere near the bottom of that retracement and buying it again. So if you wanted to trade the daily or the 4-hour chart like that, or, it's easy enough to do. You can do that. You can apply these same rules to that, just using the volume and the moving averages and the candlesticks. But I do find that trading the 4-hour chart, it is very time consuming and quite emotional. It's do I buy, do I sell? If it moves this way, it takes too much headspace. So I just couldn't be bothered doing it. Okay, that's Bitcoin. We'll just have a look at it on the weekly chart with Bitcoin. See what it looks like as well. Yeah, look at that, beautiful. If this comes out on Monday and it closes up with a nice high like that, that's very good news. Now this has come out of a nice base, this is a good base here, right? And then we've had a good run up and then an indecision and a pullback, and then it's looking like we're going to have the second one there, the second good green candle there. So, and you can't really measure this from here because if you take your analysis from here coming down, you've got a 75% chance of loss if you're going to be buying in a bear market. So what you want to do is be selling in a bear market, and you don't want to be selling in a bull market. You actually want to be buying in a bull market. So you can't use this for your analysis when you're looking at this. You need to come all the way back to here. So this is the beginning of the bull market back here. So if we were to trade this here and then come up, and as you can see, it had 6 weeks here of down and then 2 weeks there of down, it almost looks like we're kind of in this sort of a play here. And this is what surprises me about Bitcoin is we've come down, we've gone along, and then we've bounced up like that. So we've gone straight out of this very, very lull, consolidation pattern and then taken off with huge aggression. So what happens there, now I've said this wrong in my last videos, but it goes up by the escalator and then down by the lift. So as you can see, we're climbing up the escalator nicely here, and here it seems to be getting more steep. The steeper it gets, the quicker we're going to have a shakeout. There's no doubt about it. Sooner or later, the people are going to want to take profits, and the big fund managers are going to be down the pub one afternoon and say, right, no one's going to be expecting it Sunday morning. We'll have a big sell-off then, We'll take it down a couple of thousand points. And that is highly likely. It's you can see these kind of days or these weeks that have happened back here, but anyway, it's something to watch out for and something to keep in the back of your mind that like this. Unfortunately, shit happens. It's just one of those things that happens in the market. If we had 10,000 Bitcoin, then we'd be able to play the same game. But Bitcoin Gold, righto, here we are. Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold's looking great. Like you can see all the accumulation here. Like on here, you can see all the selling, and then, it seemed to have turned here. And now you can see all the accumulation that's happening and doesn't seem to be slowing down or, letting up anytime soon. The only thing I can say about this one here is we do have resistance around about where this line is now. So we're at $31 around about now. So say 32, 33. So say around about there, 32.30. We could see some resistance, but we get a nice big long cup here with a handle and a good breakout here, and that is a breakout. So in any case, whether you're looking at it for the longer term or the shorter term, this is a breakout. It is a buy. So if you wanted to get into Bitcoin Gold, now's the time to buy. Just keep in mind that there's resistance. That in a couple of dollars you'll see resistance. What I should be doing actually is putting in just a buy price here. So, let's say that if we were to buy that, like I do my analysis at night, or, I kind of scroll through them at night, and then in the morning, like if there's any that have had a good run or anything like that, then I get ready to buy in the morning at 10 o'clock. So, but, the last thing I want to do is spend all day watching these things and thinking, where's it going to go next? It doesn't really matter where I think it's going to go or anything like that. If it's proven to be a bull market and broken out with good strength and good volume, that to me and it's spending more time going up and less time coming down, that's the definition of a bull market. So I buy at that stage there. So we've got the close here at 29.14. So we'll just put a little line out here and we'll put a text in there for 29.14 as a buy. So 29.14 as a righto. So I'll put that there as a buy. So we'll just so that I can be accountable for what I'm saying, and we'll see if it works out or not. I am going to go through Bitcoin Gold. I'm only going to be looking at the top 20 pretty soon. So I'm going to get my charts in order. So we just have a look at the top 20 and then go from there. There's just a few others that I want to have a quick squeeze at and go from there. One of them was, where is EOS, US dollars? Okay, so EOS is looking good too. Like this is a perfect time for, you can see it's come down here and bounced off the 50. We've closed above that on good volume. And another thing to keep out, now this is where we use stochastics. So we've had a low, we've come up and we've had a cup with handles, come down and bounce off the 50. This here would have been a good time to buy. You can see the confirmation of volume and the close there. I'll just open this up because, you can see this from yesterday's candle too. So we've come down here. That there would have been, that would have been a risky buy. As you can see, we've got good volume coming up here, but it's a decline in volume on the breakout, which is not very good actually. That's probably still a buy, but you would have been out the very next day with a loss, walking away with your tail between your legs. This here, I probably wouldn't have bought that. Actually, I definitely wouldn't have bought that simply because the resistance was too close to the 200. This one here, I definitely would have bought simply because it's broken all moving averages. The 50, the 20 and the 8 are all facing up with monster volume. That was a buy right there. And so we're going up, and then bang, slammed it down. So this is what I was saying the other day. As they come down and hit some sort of resistance, but usually it's around about the price that you bought at. So it's come down there, bounced along the 50, and then here is another buy right here. So you've had huge amounts of volume bouncing off the 50, good close. The only thing is it retraced around about, say, 25% of the day's takings. Anyway, it's gone up there, gone up. And, this here, that one there, you probably could have bought that one. coming out of that, it would have been a little bit more risky buy. But to be honest, because the volume, there's a lot more buying in the volume, I probably would have bought that. This one here, I wouldn't have bought simply because it seems a little bit too far extended. And yeah, I mean, actually having a look at it for the longer term chart, that's not too bad, but it's not too good either. But anyway, we've kind of mucked around a little bit there. I definitely wouldn't be buying this. As you can see here, this is a call for concern. On this candle here, we've got the red volume, and it's above average volume, but it's less than the previous day. This one here is the cause for concern. We've got increased volume, so that means the sellers are unloading. The people, whoever was holding EOS at that time was unloading and saying, no, there's something not right here. Let's get out. This one here, we've got less volume than the previous day. So even when the bulls tried to come back in, they didn't have as much strength as the bears. This one here, if you didn't get out the first chance, this was your chance to get out. Like, just check out that volume. Then we've got indecision. Now, this is your third chance to get out. Indecision there with not much volume, even though it's above average, it's well below the previous day. So that's showing weakness for the people who are winning this are the sellers, not the buyers. Now, if I'll just open this up and I'll just show you something. And this is where you get quite technical with your buys, and this is where you put your limit orders in and stuff. So if this would have come across here, and let's say on the open of this day here, if that would have traded below the low here, and the low was, the close was 772, and then this opened at 773. So now, let's say it was 770 where you put your limit loss order in and your stop loss in, and then you would have been stopped out within minutes on that trade there on that particular day. But as you can see, the volume here was above the previous day. So that was your volume major warning sign there. And then that was your, that was your secondary. So you can tell by the volume there, and from the candles as well. This is also called an engulfing pattern. And this is a huge reversal. So here we've got big candle, we've got indecision. Now, we don't know which way the decision is going to be made, right? But when it goes up like this and closes, and then trades below the previous days and then closes down below here, what the rule of thumb is when you have a big strong day and an indecision, wherever the next candle closes, sometimes even people say wherever it trades, that's where that's where the market generally heads. But in this case, where it closes, that was an indication of where it was headed. So it closed down below here. So, and this was also an engulfing pattern on this candle here. But if you didn't pick that up, we've got a big long candle there, big strong candle, not as much volume. This one here is an engulfing pattern, and an engulfing pattern is whatever the 50% mark is of this candle here, the next candle, being this one, if it closes below 50% of this day, that means that this candle here, the sellers are now in control. So look out. And as you can see by the volume and the candle, the sellers were in control. And here we had indecision day. The buyers had a crack, but nothing really happened. They couldn't really take a hold on it. Sellers came in with full force and away they go. But anyway, bouncing along the 50, not much volume here, and that was a buy right there. So EOS is a buy coming out of a low, and that is similar to a buy there or a buy there, this candle here, the way I'm seeing it. So, but anyway, we'll see. Actually, I'll just I'll put a marker in there too, just so that I make myself accountable. I hold enough EOS, so I'm not gonna be buying anymore. And actually, we'll see what the price was. What was the close? 751. This is why you need to be ready on the close. So actually, we'll just do a buy. And we'll just do 7.51. And I'm going to make that a little bit bigger actually. No, let's see what we need. Yeah, we want to make it so we can actually see it. There we go. That kind of makes me accountable. So now if I was here, and I was looking to buy this one, say it's 10 to 10 in the morning, I'm looking to buy, I would be at my account ready, and I would have money or move the funds into my account ready to press the go button on EOS. And if that was the case, because I want to get as close to this close as I can. Remember, this is the candle here. This is the reason why we're buying. This candle here, the moving averages and the volume. They're the reasons why we're buying, because of this candle here. We're not buying halfway through the candle, because the amount of times that a candle will, it might come up and look great and then just smash it back down towards the end of the day, and you're shaking your head going, why on earth did I buy that? So anyway, end of day data. I've found that to be most effective, and it's worked for me before. I hope it'll work for me again. Just having a look back here, I've got to get off here, so I've got to shorten these things down, but I just can't help myself once I get on a roll. This here was a buy. That there I probably would have bought as well. That I wouldn't have bought, too close to 200. That I probably would have bought, actually, being over, and I would have been smashed down there. And anyway, I think I already just went through that. But Ethereum, US dollars. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum looks fantastic as far as I'm concerned. But the long term, the long term for Ethereum looks fantastic. And to be honest, like, it just looks great. To me, it's just, there's a huge amount of strength there. So coming over here from the left-hand side all the way down, there's your cup, big long base there, and it's got a high handle too. And then the handle's pulled back, and we've got a decline in volume on the handle, on the selling there. And as you can see, we've got good amounts of volume coming in with the buying there, coming out of the handle. So having a look at that, I'll just go back to where it was. So Ethereum reached $1,400. Now it's only $312. And we didn't come out of a base that was quite as good as that. We had a good wedge pattern happening there and a good breakout. So, it's amazing how fast these things can move when they really decide. When all the investors get, FOMO, they just don't want to miss out, and they've all got to have their 2 cents in there, so they load up big time. This one here, not yesterday, but the day before, this is why I need to start looking at the top 20 and making my decisions from there. I do have to say, I do like Ethereum for long term, big time. This here would have been your entry right here on this day. I'll just make sure that I've got that right there. That one there. So the close was $295. Now we're only $20 out. So that's what, 7.5% around about. So we're only 7.5% from the buy price to now. As far as I'm concerned, you could still buy this. It is a more risky trade, but having a look at the long-term effects, or the long-term scope of Ethereum, I'll just go back here and we'll have a look on the weekly chart. If this looks like this on the weekly chart, that there was a buy right here. You can see the above average volume and the break above the moving averages. The only thing is the 50 was facing down. Then we've got indecision and a negative. That wasn't an engulfing pattern. It didn't quite close below the 50% mark of this candle. And also, the further out this goes, the less relevance a negative would have on this candle here, because these investors are now getting settled with their positions and they're ready to load up again. So we've got that there going up. This one here, if this closes high on Monday, being tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, that's a buy right there. But, have a look at it on the daily chart. Let's go back and have a look at the daily, shall we? I should have probably stayed there and had a look at the weekly a little bit longer. So this here was a buy coming out of the low there. I definitely would have taken advantage of that one there. And this one here, I would have taken advantage of that one there. Like, check that out. That's just, but you can see all these have the same, they've all got the same thing. That one there I would have been hesitant with, simply because, have a look at the resistance. The top of the candle there, the wick, I'm just going to move the cursor over a little bit. That's gone over there and then come down 40%, 45%, 40, 45, somewhere around there, but it's on massive volume. So, I probably would have taken that. I would have been hesitant, but I would have been wary, but I still would have taken it, I think. And that, simply because of the volume. Look at how much, there was a lot of turnover in there, and the argument was definitely won by the bulls. Indecision, and then we've got a close above after the indecision day, which goes with the rule about what I was saying before. When you've got a big, strong day, indecision, and wherever it closes the next day, whether it's high or low, green or red, that's usually the direction of the trend. But that's the short-term trend. It's not the long-term trend. Then we kind of check out the volume here, big time. Now, have a look at this one here. That's saying that there's a monster amount of selling that's come into play here. A little bit less selling there. The buyers are back in. But, this day here, all these sellers here that came through on this day that wanted to take profits, but you still had a lot of buying coming in, but they just couldn't actually beat the sellers. And this one here, I would, there's a close below 2 moving averages. So I probably would have been selling there below, because it closed below 2 moving averages, even though the volume wasn't high. So this is where they all kind of you kind of need to make a decision based on. There's four major things that I look for. Firstly is the candlesticks. Secondly is the volume that's backing those candlesticks. Then you've got the moving averages, and then you've got the stochastics. So stochastics I probably use the least, but the other three I use all the time, every time. So this one here, even though I've got to sell below these moving averages, I still would have sold, but I would have been, I wouldn't say hesitant to sell. I would have been eager to keep my eye on it to look for where the next entry was going to be, simply because there wasn't enough in the selling. Now, Steve Bigelow reckons that the volume doesn't work and all that sort of stuff, but you have to have a follow-through day with big volume. No bull run has ever started without it. No bear market has ever started without the extra volume on the selling days at the top of a trend. So this one here, I wouldn't have bought on that one, even though it's a fantastic reversal. This is like an engulfing pattern. So you've got this one that comes down here, and then this one completely engulfs the previous candle. So that means the bulls have definitely beaten the shit out of the sellers and said, no way. There's no way you're winning this battle. Then we've got an indecision candle, and then the trend is confirmed. So here, I would have bought on this one here, above average volume, and we've got a fantastic candle to go with it. This one here, if this would have closed down below halfway of this candle, I would have been on the edge of my chair waiting for the next morning or getting ready to sell, simply because if it's below half this candle, it's looking like reversal. But anyway, we had less volume and less of a size candle, so happy to hold there. This one here, another buy. Reason why this is a buy is because we've got a high there, a high there, and a high there, and they all kind of, even though they're a fraction higher, it's still considered to be like, especially these two here, that would be considered to be a double top. We're smashed through that double top on monster volume, and so that's what this chart's looking like at the moment. Taking all the way back, that's just a small little blip in the ocean here. But you can see that coming all the way down, all the way up to there, and then down here. This is fantastic. It really looks good. Now, the fundamentals for the price action, all that sort of stuff, and the volume and everything, it all looks really good for Ethereum. And so your buy should have been back there at the close of 295, and here that could have been bought 311, 315. It could still be bought. It could really still be bought, but I'm hesitant. It's kind of gone up and then back and then 100% up, and for the long term I like it. For the short term I'm hesitant. Like if I had been watching all the top 20, I would have had that one, and I would have bought on this day right then and there at the 295 mark. That's 295 US as well. Okay, moving right along. Probably taking a little bit long on this one here, but anyway, you can either watch it or turn it off. Litecoin. Litecoin's going to have a split hard fork. 142.43, fantastic. I think we bought about I don't know, I can't remember exactly where we bought. We bought somewhere around here though, now just having a look at Litecoin. So we've got a nice cup coming along here. That's a very high handle. Actually, I would even say that cup comes down to around about here. It's got to be obvious. It's not really all that obvious on this one here, but let's just call it a base, shall we? We've had a base and we've reached the 200. Now this is a bubble pattern, what Steve Bigelow considers to be. If you want to learn about candlesticks, I am going to put something together for explaining candlesticks. But Steve Bigelow does a fantastic job. But the only thing is he charges a lot of money for it. Now this is what he calls a bubble pattern. So we've had a breakout there, which is fantastic. Would have been buying that one for sure if I had my wits about me on that particular time. Anyway, it's come down. What he calls a bubble pattern is when it comes up and hits the 200 moving average, comes down and breaks out through that with extra volume. So this here was a buy. This here was a buy. Now, if you go back and have a look at the volume and the price action of the candles, you'll see exactly why they were buys. This here was a buy. The same again. This here was also a buy. That there, probably a buy. That volume, even though it is above average, it's a good solid candle. That's, and actually, like looking at this now, it's had a low there. So you can see that there's 6 or 7 days. There's a bit of mishmash here, red and green, and then there's about 5 or 6 days there, one up, 3 down, one up. But this one here seems to be like the turning here. We've got less selling in the volume, and we've got more of the buying on that particular day there, and it's broken the previous high of the downtrend. So that to me is telling me that the trend has changed, and looks like we're turning around. Anyway, that was a buy there. If you didn't take advantage of that one, this one here was a buy. If you didn't take advantage of that one, this one here was a buy. Didn't take advantage of that one, this one, oh no, I wouldn't have bought that one there. And this one here, I probably wouldn't have bought that one there either. Simply because this top, it's getting too high. That's resistance. It could quite easily bounce back down and go down to the 50, This is more so about protecting your money, other than trying to risk it and possibly lose it. So I'll just have a look at Litecoin on the weekly chart. Now with Litecoin, it's going to have a hard fork. So, and there's some huge amounts of investors and stuff that really like Litecoin a lot. And, we've got a fantastic cup here with a handle. We've broken it down, like this here, if you're trading on the weekly chart, even though that volume is low there, that's a great candle. Close $112. So in 2 indecision days, and then indecision weeks, and then another good one there. Anyway, that's you can see how fast this moves. Like April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So 7 months. From 7 months, like what's that? $8.33. And then the first indication to sell, or to be concerned, this is on the weekly chart. It tells a different story on the daily. That's why we watch the daily, because you can get out a lot sooner than the weekly. Let's just have a look so we can see around about on the daily where we would have gotten out, or where we should have gotten out. I'll just have a look at where we would have gotten in if we would have been playing that game all the way from back there. So if you watch these markets like all day, not all day every day, but for 20 minutes every morning, you just get on there and have a look, go through the top 20, and then have a look at this. Is that a breakout or what? That's just a no-brainer. You don't even need to think about it. There's your breakout. It stands above any other candle that's ever been there. The volume is just, sensational. And anyway, so that just proves that 7 times out of 10, or more than 7 times out of 10 usually, this will work for you. And it doesn't work every time. So, if you do this 10 times, 3 times you're going to lose. Maybe even 4 times you're going to lose. But 7 times, you're going to win. And if you keep on adding to your position as you go up, you can make some serious gains. So let's just have a look here. So the close, $7.78. That was the close. Now let's have a look and see if we can read these candles here for the top of the trend. And so we've got, the top of the trend here, so we've got huge amounts of volume there, and we've got an indecision one there. This is no cause for alarm, because this is well below this previous day, and then it got smashed again. So any of these sellers that were in here trying to sell, good luck to them. Anyway, the bulls were straight back in the game here. Now, I remember mentioning on here the other day that when you see major, and even these two could have been considered to be 20% moves of the previous trend. But when you get an indecision like this, and then you got major, like these here stand out like as much as that buy did before. So this is probably one of the first things that, you should be looking to unload some of your profits around about here, somewhere near the top, or even if you did make it to the close till 10 o'clock the next morning, at that close there, just if you're going to stay in there, you're going to give away some of your profits. I can't remember what his name was. I think it was Kennedy, JFK's dad. He was a good stock trader back in his day. But he said never ever cry over selling into the advance, because if you go in there and you've made more money than you come out with, you're a winner. So, and that's the way you need to look at it. And especially if you're bought at $7.70 and sold the close there at $292, you've done pretty well. So coming around here, we've got indecision, and then we've got a candle there, which didn't really show like that. That volume is just, it's not a cause for concern. And then we come through here, that's not a cause for concern. The volume's picking up. This one here is a cause for concern. This is a big distribution day, because as you can see, so we've got our first distribution day back here and our second distribution day here, which is at the top of the trend. Now, this is a reversal pattern happening here. After these two here, that should have been your first red flag. You know, the first thing to say, these are 20% overbought from all the previous trend. These engulf 20% of the whole move of the actual, the rise. So these other red volumes and indecision here didn't really matter too much. This one here, this is a reversal candle here, and or a reversal pattern here, and especially with that volume being above the previous day's volume. If this would have traded, so say it didn't actually go there, so this here just opening up and didn't even trade above, it just traded straight down there like that. Now I would have felt very uncomfortable owning, more of the Litecoin around about here, especially if I was too silly to get out at that stage. Then I definitely would have been selling my position here at this one here, because this is telling a big story here. Check out the volume there. There's big distribution on this day here in a reversal pattern, and there's a close below the 8 EMA and a monstrous wick here. Even though the buyers tried to come back in, look at the volume on the selling. So let's just say you did get out there. So the close was 248. So if you were to buy back then at it was before that, it was $7.18. It was 7 months ago. Sorry, let's just call it $8, whatever it is. So $8, if you bought $8 7 months ago and then you sold at $748, so you made $240. So $8, let's say you bought 100 of them for $800, and now you're selling it for $24,800. 7 months later, it's you can't complain about that. That's a good income for 7 months. Especially if you're only doing it on one coin as well. Anyway, now those sort of lows coming out of those lows. Gee, I waffle on a bit, don't I? Those sort of lows coming out over here. I'm just going to shrink that up right up so I can get here quicker. Okay, so now we're looking at where to come out here. Here we've got good volume on the buying, good volume on the buying, good volume on the buying. It's all a lot of good volume here. This rise, there's a little bit of selling there, and that would have been a cause for concern. And as you can see, a close below the 8 EMA with big volume like that, that's your time to get out. And then you come across here looking for a buy, but the volume was well below. Even though that volume was better than the previous day, it was still well below this volume that the sellers had taken part in here. Time for, call for concern. Anyway, there was that's ordinary. I wouldn't have been buying there. This here possibly could have bought. I think I've already spoken about this. I would have bought that one simply because it's broken the two moving averages, even just about to break the 20, and it's beaten this high here, and it's got good volume above the previous day's selling. Anyway, so I think you kind of get the picture. I'll just keep on explaining this as I go. But the three main things that I'm looking for are candlesticks, volume, and moving averages. I'm just going to keep on going through a couple here. Amizi Go. Amizi Go is not in the top 20. Look at that. Okay, well, here we go. Look at that. There's good volume there. Stochastics has come down from the below 20% mark. Good volume. It's headed over, and we're broken out on that one there. That there is a buy. I wouldn't be super duper confident on that one, but it is a buy. Same with this one here. It's looking like a similar kind of a position. Even though the volume on today is a lot better than back then, but that was a buy back then as well. Here's a buy here. You just need to identify these buys and just play the game. That the whole thing is that when you read other books and look at other people, they make it so scary that trading is this big scary thing to do, and really at the end of the day, it's not. You see an opportunity, and you should be able to look in there and a couple of seconds later go, yeah, well, I'm in or I'm not. Simple as that. And the only time that I do get confused is when the market goes up and I'm holding a substantial profit, and I'm just thinking to myself, shit, now the market is telling me that it could be turning and I've got this profit here, but it's also telling me for the long term that we're just about to smash the ball out of the park. Now that is the time where I get a little bit concerned, thinking, shit, if I do sell, then I could be taking a big chance of not making money. But if I don't sell, then I could lose. So the best thing is to do is to protect your to protect your money. Monero, let's have a look at Monero. Ho, go Monero. So perfect cup with handle. Look at that pattern. Oh, now I've got to say there's another thing that I do look for just after mentioning that. So candlesticks, volume. I'm going to get my shit in a pile one day. Hey, so candlesticks, volume, moving averages, and patterns. You need to be looking out for patterns as well. So a study of patterns. I'm actually going to put a course together and go out to the market and see if there's any need for it. But what I want to do, I actually want to teach. I don't want to teach just anybody. I'm actually going to target CEOs that want to control their own finances in the market. And I'm only going to focus on cryptos. Well, cryptos while the bull run's on. And then as soon as this crypto run is over, I'm going to be looking for the next bull market, and whether it be in commodities or precious metals, like commodities, whatever. Okay, so back to what we were on about. You can see all the buying opportunities all the way through here. That's the good ones. Like look at that one there, perfect buying opportunity, fantastic. Anyway, there's another buying opportunity. I think that was around about where we bought it. I think it was $100 where we bought it. Yeah, somewhere around there. So I was on this candle here that we bought. So actually I might even mark that just so that I'm accountable for my word. So it doesn't sound like, in 3 months' time and it hits $400 and they say, bullshit, you didn't buy there. Well, actually I did. So we'll just go there and mark that. And we bought between 99 and 101. So let's just call it, let's just call it $100, because I know we bought two lots, and one was at 99 and one was at 101, because we've got two different accounts that we trade. But anyway, it would not surprise me. So this looking at it here, we've got a lot of scrappy crap going on back here. It wouldn't surprise me if we have either resistance somewhere near here. I was actually expecting resistance around about the 114 mark, 113 mark, something like that. Wouldn't surprise me if we kind of go up here and then we bounce down and then we kind of find support on this stuff. But, it'll be interesting to see where the traders find, like the support from back here. Like, it kind of looks there, like around about the 110 mark, which we could be finding, bounce up, come back down, find support on 110. I doubt, we could do, but I doubt that we'll see a retracement back to the high of this handle here, which is down there, which often does happen. But just in the strength of this market at the moment, I doubt that we will see that. Just have a quick look at the Monero on the weekly chart just to see what it looks like. And righto, so yep, look at that. What do you do? This candle here, or actually this was fantastic engulfing pattern here to say that So another thing Steve Bigelow does here, like on the weekly, is he'll trade across when it goes down. As soon as it goes down a smidgen, he'll put his limit or buy on stop above the close of this week here, which is 96.25. So that could have been an entry there if you're going to trade the weekly, but anyway, I'm trading the daily, so I find the daily is good. Spend 20 minutes on it. Holy shit, it's 2 minutes past 11. I've to been on here for ages. Zcash, all right, I'm almost going to wrap it up, so just give me a minute. If you wanted to watch this on double speed, like it wouldn't surprise me. I'll be watching it on double speed. Look at this. This is forming out to be a huge cup. Zcash. I do like Zcash a lot. There's, I saw a guy last night on Fidelity, huge investment fund. He likes Monero and Zcash as well, which I found out. And his call was actually for $1 million Bitcoin before the end of the year. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard all this sort of stuff before, and they can say whatever they want. But really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what people think. It matters what the chart tells you. That's where the facts are, where the charts are, what the charts are saying. That's looking good. Look at that Zcash, and the volume here on this day here. Let's have a look at Zcash on the weekly chart. That's a buy, but it is extended, but it's a buy. Let's have a look. It is a buy. It's more risky. Look at this flat line. It just looks like nothing. Anyway, let's open it up and have a look. Perfect. So if you were going to buy end of week data, check out the institutional sponsorship here. Eh? Look at that. You boys can't hide. Check out this day here, or this week here. So if you're going to buy end of candle data, you'd be kind of waiting to see what tomorrow turned out like, and then be buying that. Wouldn't surprise me if we traced, down to 108, 110, 105 or somewhere there. and then took off again. That is quite typical. You know, you can see that we've got the 20 moving average, the 8 moving up quite nicely, and yeah, so you know, I don't mind Zcash at all. Zcash is looking good. XEM, we've got a big holding in XEM, but anyway, I'll have to go over that. So this is on Bitfinex. I've been actually going through and, you know. Okay, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there because I've just been going on and on and on, and I could just keep on going on and on. I just, you know, bloody sound like a radio commentator. Righto, all right, well, I hope you have a good day. Good luck with your trading and take care. See you tomorrow.